And then finally, the last one here on the list, despite what I said just a few minutes ago about the current court being mainly interested in civil liberties or civil rights issues, and that if we go back to the 19th century, it was mainly about federalism, that doesn't mean that the current court isn't interested in cases that raise questions of federalism. Not to the extent that they were back in the 19th century, but if it is a dispute that raises a question of federalism, and what I mean by that is the division of powers between the national government on the one hand and state governments on the other hand, that increases the probability that the court will review the case. Okay? So, bottom line, again, thinking about this kind of like predicting the weather, okay? In a recent study that I saw, concluded that in cases where none of these cues are present, none of these things hold, there's only about a 7% chance that you're going to have rain. In this case, having rain means the court's going to review the case. Okay? But if you have at least 3 of these cues present, the probability of rain increases to 80%. The probability that the court will review the case increases to 80%. That's why I started by saying that there's a lot more empirical evidence to support this theory. I'm not saying that this theory is correct and Merritt's consciousness is incorrect. I'm just saying that there's more empirical evidence to support this one. And I find it, therefore, as an empirical political scientist, more satisfying. But both of them are very interesting theories in terms of explanations for why the court hears certain cases and not others. Okay, let's forge ahead. I want to at least get some basic definitions in here before we run out of time. So let's start with the impact criteria. Again, what we're trying to establish here is what are the objective criteria for determining whether Griswold versus Connecticut or Miranda versus Arizona or Brown versus the Board of Education or any of these cases that we might talk about amount to an example of judicial policy making. So the first criterion is that it has to have policy impact. The policy impact criteria means that the court's decision must have the potential to substantially change or alter an existing policy or practice. And I put the italics there on the word potential to kind of tip you off that you've got to remember something here. A very important piece is that you have to take the court's decision as given. You cannot speculate about how it might have come out differently had the court decided the case differently. You got to begin with the court's decision. And if that decision has the potential to substantially change or alter the existing policy or practice, we're going to say that it satisfies the impact criteria.